Welcome back. Been a month plus. Got a few nice messages from some folks just checking in to see if I was doing okay. I really appreciate that, especially coming from some folks I don't even know, other than maybe sharing a comment or two here on YouTube. So, very kind of you all. I am doing fine. I was out of town for a bit and just taking some time to do the things to sort of ease my mind. Listening to a lot of music, hanging out with my dog. Work schedule's picked up a little bit, so got some work to do. But things are going well. I'm watching the Get Back documentary, like everyone, almost everyone I know. Sorry, I'm just gonna put my phone on mute. I finished the first episode. I'm making my way through the second. It's tremendous. But I understand sort of both sides, folks who think it's incredible and folks who some are saying it's boring. And I think the folks who think it is boring are probably just not big Beatles fans. I find it incredible that we have access to hours and hours of footage of these guys in their sort of final days. Just a tremendous gift from the Beatles camp and Peter Jackson. So I am loving it. What other updates do I have? That's about it. I'm going to see a show on Friday. I'm going to see Superwolves, Bonnie Prince Billy, and Matt Sweeney. I've seen Bonnie Prince Billy once. I think it was 2008 in Big Sur, one of the best shows I've ever seen. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him again, along with Matt Sweeney, who's obviously a huge talent, has done some work with Iggy Pop and many, many others. So that's my update here. I recently got a great live record, which sort of reminded me that I have yet to do my favorite live albums. So this morning, after a couple of work calls, I rummaged through my collection, and as I often do, I don't spend a ton of time making sure that I'm missing anything. So I'm certain that I'm missing some great live albums from this top 10, but I pulled what the ones that sort of stuck out to me, and here it goes. Top 10 is in order. At number 10 is the Grateful Dead record, One from the Vault. Now, this is a record that I listened to so much in high school. It was reissued recently. My buddy Travis tipped me off to this reissue. I picked it up from the great Light in the Attic, tremendous record label. And so August 13th, 1975, I was not even 2 years old yet, at Great American Music Hall, where I've seen many shows in San Francisco. Just an awesome, awesome live album that, again, I played throughout high school and into college all the time on CD, played it in my car, and just loved this collection. It's my favorite live Dead album, and there are a lot of great ones out now. So that's number one. Number two, this is a bit of a surprise, maybe just to me. So there wasn't a lot of fanfare around this, even though this is one of my favorite artists. But the songs from this live album, it's not really a live album. This isn't even a live album. So it's remakes of existing songs. I'm just going to call it a live album for the sake of this top 10. Because I think it's done live. Whatever. As if you care. But whenever these come on Spotify, they come on random, and these songs are they're such great songs that are redone so well. So this is the Jeff Tweedy compilation, Together at Last. Sorry for the glare. Just stripped down versions of a lot of his best songs: Laminated Cat, Via Chicago, Ashes of American Flags. This is one of those records you put on late at night and just shut off all the lights, and it's like you're in the room with Tweety. So that's at number 9, Together at Last. Didn't realize that this was next. Sorry, Jeff, the J beat you out. Number 8 is the Son Volt live record, Live at the Bottom Line, February 12th, 1996. This was a Record Store Day release a few years ago. I've mentioned this many times. I was at this show. I was in college in Boston at the time, and my buddy Brian and I drove down the day of the show. It was one of the coldest nights I've ever experienced in my life. Brian and I, you had to wait online outside of, did I say Bottom of the Hill? I meant the Bottom Line in New York City, if I did say Bottom of the Hill. And he and I alternated between standing in line, and the other person would run into a bar that was right across the street and get a drink. I think we got coffee, I don't know. Because it was almost impossible to stand out. It was like 0 degrees. One of those New York City nights. This was broadcast on WNEW in New York, which is one of the top rock radio stations at the time. I think they're still around. But for Son Volt to be on that was a big deal at the time, and man, did they deliver. I am pretty sure, I can't remember which part, you can hear me scream something, a request or something, I can't remember. Whenever I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I think that's me. Brian and I were right up front, and it was just, this is when Son Volt were at their peak. So it looks like this is number 1661. I'm not sure how many they pressed. I don't know what it was limited to. But man, am I glad that I have it. Rhino, of course, one of the great labels. This is one of the best shows I've ever seen. And I'm going to listen to this today. Just the version of True to Life on this. Unreal. Not sure why I whistled. I just feel like I could go on and on. We drove back after the show, and Brian got pulled over somewhere in Massachusetts. It was like 3 a.m, and he got let off. We made it back to campus at, I don't know, 4 or 5 a.m. But what an evening that was. So it's 10, 9, 8. Number 7 is what probably a lot of people in the Americana alt country world would consider number 1. Is the Townes Van Zandt record, Live at the Old Quarter, Houston, Texas, put out on Fat Possum. I think this was reissued 2009. This is Townes at his best. A lot of live recordings, or a lot of live recordings of Townes that I've heard, he's not sober, and I don't really like those recordings. It just makes me sad about Townes, and obviously his issues with alcohol, but he sounds to me, I think, sober on this record, and it is just a powerhouse. What a great shot of Townes. God, he's got all of his best songs. The room is quiet. Just, this is going on tonight too. All these are going on. So number 6 is the Thanksgiving record. I call it my Thanksgiving record because my buddy Dave Dewey plays this DVD every Thanksgiving, and now I do too. He inspired me to do so. And this is The Last Waltz. For those folks who know Mazzy, he was there. I have another friend, or a guy that I haven't spoken to in years, but who was also there. Imagine being at this. You got the band, plus, I'm not even going to say Eric Clapton, although I just said Eric Clapton, which means Van Morrison too. I wish those, yeah. Ringo Starr, Muddy Waters, Ron Wood, Neil Young, Ronnie Hawkins, Bob Dylan, the Staples, Wow. Emmylou Harris, Dr. John, Joni Mitchell. The Last Waltz, uh, the greatest live music film ever, in my view. And this, what a record. Uh, Five left. Number 5 came out a couple weeks ago. No Nukes, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. This is Bruce's performance at Madison Square Garden, September 21st to the 22nd. Just an absolutely explosive performance by Bruce and the E Street Band. I bought this on CD as well because I wanted the DVD. The vinyl version does not have the DVD unless I missed it. But I remember watching this as a kid. So I was six. I was 5 when this came out, or the performance. I can't remember when I think it came out in 1980. And I remember sort of asking my father, like, what did No Nukes? I was a kid. I didn't know it. And he explained the politics of it to me. And I remember it was one of my early introductions into music, meeting politics. And just this, wow, thank you to the Bruce Camp and to Columbia. It's got to be Columbia. Yeah, Legacy, for putting this out. Fans have waited for this. And I have listened to it 50 times. Slight embellishment, 25 times in the last few weeks. And I bought a copy for my buddy Mark and Shepard. Shepard's his last name. In Chicago, one of my brother's best friends, maybe my brother's best friend, just sent it to him for his 50th birthday. So Mark is I met Mark in February of this year. He has become one of my dearest friends. I love the man. We do Zoom calls late into the night every once in a while, sometimes with my cousin Buck, sometimes with randoms. Barbara Manning, if you're watching this, I hope you'll join us one night. Mark turns 50 on December 12th, as does Serge Belenko. 2 people pivotal in me doing everything I can to manage the grief related to my brother's passing. So I love you guys. Serge has been talking a lot about this record on his Instagram channel. I'm going to put that on next. I've said that 3 times. Top 4. Mark's going to like this pick. Neil Young has a slew of great live records, but this one, which came out this year, and what a beautiful cover. Isn't the artwork just great? Is my favorite. I don't know, there's a clarity to it. It sounds so pristine, and all of his live records are great, as I just said, but this one, there's something about this one that rises above the rest. Neil at Carnegie Hall, 1970. Neil Young Archives just keep putting these out. They are remarkable. Number 3, I know a lot of folks will consider this number 1. Bob Dylan Live 1966. This is the Royal Albert Hall show. When he went electric, opens with She Belongs to Me, which is just, I got to chill just thinking about it. Visions of Johanna. This is just, when he goes electric, and the crowd's not sure what to do, but Bob seems pretty confident in what he's doing, and this is it, right? May 17th, 1966, Bob Dylan. 2 left. Number 2, Sam Cooke, live at the Harlem Square Club. I have often said, the age-old question, if you could go back to any concert at any time ever, what would it be? Well, it's going to be number 1. What's Coming 1 would probably be it. But this is the sort of fever in the room, how sort of hyped up Sam is. This, uh, Bring It On Home to Me, Having a Party, Chain Gang, Twisting the Night Away. I'm going to put it on next. I'm just going to listen to live records for the next week. How about that? And number one, which probably might come as a surprise to some, but this is, would I say pretty far and away, my favorite live album of all time. Bruce Springsteen at Hammersmith Odeon, 1975 in London. This, of course, if I have the story right, is following Bruce's appearance on both Newsweek and Time magazine in the same week, which when print was still, this is obviously well before print was sort of taken over by digital, but Bruce, if I'm not mistaken, this was his first performance outside the United States. And there was a ton of pressure because a lot of people were saying he's the next Bob Dylan, the same sort of, there's been many artists who have had to go through that. Steve Forbert was the next Bob Dylan. But Springsteen, you can sort of feel the tension when the show starts. Bruce is introduced and it is quiet, and you can almost see and hear the audience sort of sizing him up. And then when Thunder Road, which I think the version of Thunder Road which opens on this record, I think it's the greatest live performance I've ever heard. When it ends, the crowd, just in perfect time, when Roy Bittan finishes his last sort of piano touch, the crowd just explodes. And whoa, my favorite live album of all time. That's it. I did not grab one that I wish more people knew about. We'll do that on my next video. I did want to note, I've mentioned the backline thing. We are down to how many days left? 24 days left. We have now raised $310 some odd dollars. We had already raised 500. So an additional 310, because I think I checked right before I came on here, I'm at 810 subscribers. So 310 additional dollars will go to Backline. You can look up Backline at backline.care. You can look up the statistics on the things that we do and how we help musicians who are in need of mental health care. Not just musicians, anybody in the music industry. So if you want to sub, again, I think I mentioned this last time, if you want to sub and you really don't like this channel, sub until December 31st and then unsub, because that sub will be an extra dollar going to Backline. Thank you for checking in. Thank you again to the folks who sent notes. You are some kind, good-hearted people. Put some comments, some records that I forgot in terms of your favorites, and I will check back with you all very soon. And happy holidays. Take care.